Here we are.
Stanislav Sergeyevich, may I start sharing my screen now?
Oh, please wait a little bit before some introductory remarks. We are going to do them, and after that, you can start your speech. Just in a minute.
Just let me know. I will wait for my turn.
Okay. Good morning to everyone. Thank you so much for being here for this exciting workshop about the Ukrainian diaspora and Ukrainian situation here in Bielefeld. Continue with the month of activities here in Bielefeld for our project Peace and Mobilities. Just to introduce, but already you know, Stan as coordinator will take in charge of this session for today. And then, yeah, Stan. Thank you so much for organizing everything.
So good morning, everyone. Today, our workshop will be dedicated to the Ukrainian case, as you already know. And we have two keynote speakers who will share their personal experience and join us online. Practically, we can say that our project is dedicated to life stories, to the stories of people who passed through all the hardships of migration, forced displacement, and now they can assimilate this experience and help us to conceptualize, make some conclusions, because for the sake of our research, it's very important to make some practicable pieces of advice, which we can further recommend for governmental institutions and decision makers. Practically, we conducted lots of interviews here in Bielefeld, and the thing that we observed tells us that young people are the most active part of the society, and young people seek for better conveniences of their education, for better life, for better employment, and this willingness drives the ability to migrate. And it explains greatly the reason why they integrate societies faster and have better resilience. And so now the floor goes to Yaroslava Fatyuha, who will present her own story of migration and mobility, academic mobility in many terms, and also volunteering activity. And so, Yaroslava, the floor is yours. You can share your screen, and we hear you loud and clear.
Okay, excellent. Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to see you all. It is a great joy and honor for me to participate in this amazing workshop, even if it's just online. Please let me know if you can see me well, if you can hear me well, and if you can see my presentation on the screen.
Yeah, everything is still visible. Yeah, just go on.
Oh, amazing. Let me introduce myself. My name is Yaroslava Fatyuha, and I'm a first-year master student at the Parisian National University, studying at the Faculty of History and International Relations. I study international relations, and I'm passionate about my specialization. I have deep interest in international politics. Over the past 5 years, I have thoroughly enjoyed my studies at the faculty, thanks to our exceptional teachers, which are genuine professionals, and a very supportive community. I would also like to emphasize how resilient this community is. Since the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine began, the faculty has managed to adapt to many changes, such as transitioning to online loading and conducting classes, even during air alerts. Despite facing numerous challenges, the professionals continue to provide high-quality education to all students in our university. This community has played a significant role in my life, helping me achieve many of my goals, and has prepared me to become a specialist in my field. I have not only learned the theoretical aspects of my studies, but also have gained valuable practical knowledge and skills necessary for my roles as a political analyst and an expert in international communication. Throughout my studies, I have received great assistance from my academic supervisors to write numerous scientific articles and publications, participate in scientific conferences and competitions, and complete internships abroad. Today, I would like to share my experiences in public activism, scientific research, and volunteer activities both in Ukraine and abroad. I will tell you how I chose my path as an expert in international relations, how I became a practitioner in this field, and what I am currently involved in. Let me begin. A year before I began my studies at Zaporizhzhia National University, I became a winner of the Flex Young Leaders Exchange Program. I spent the academic year 2019-2020 in the United States of America, in the small town of 1 Meter in Iowa State, where I attended high school. The Flex program aims to promote cultural exchange and teach some basics, soft power skills, for example, such as cultural diplomacy. This program provided my first experience in intercultural interaction. During my time at the American high school, I conducted approximately 25 cultural presentations about Ukraine in various formats. For instance, I read Ukrainian fairy tales translated into English to first graders, and I told the high school choir to sing Carol of the Bells, which is originally known as a Ukrainian song called Shedrik. Let me introduce you this part of my experience. Yeah, so I told them to sing this song in Ukrainian language. Also, I told elementary school kids to draw Ukraine's state symbols. I told teenagers how to read Ukrainian letters and build small dialogues in Ukrainian. Additionally, I conducted interactive presentations on various topics depending on the class, such as the history and political system of Ukraine in history class, or the geography and social life of Ukraine in geography class. The Flex program also promotes a culture of volunteering. During my time in the United States, I received an award from the US Department of State for completing over 80 hours of volunteering. This experience significantly contributed to my growth as the founder of the youth volunteer organization called Rotaract Zaporizhzhia, which is a part of the international charity organization Rotary International. A key aspect of the program also involved learning about tolerance and interaction within an intercultural community. I gained valuable insights into cultural diversity and the essential skills for diplomacy, as participants from more than 50 nationalities were involved in this program. The experience was crucial for my professional development. Anyway, the most significant event during my stay in the United States was my participation in the civic education workshop in Washington, D.C. in March 2022, just before the pandemic began. I spent an entire week in the Capitol, where I met with the representatives from the US Senate and House of Representatives, as well as prominent American diplomats. We were educated on social responsibility, political culture, and the implementation of grant projects. It was during this workshop that I realized that I wanted to pursue a career in diplomacy and international politics. In September 2020, I enrolled at Zaporizhzhia National University. Although we sometimes studied online due to the pandemic, this did not hinder my acquisition of fundamental knowledge and skills in international relations. In February 2021, I founded my own youth organization, Rotaract Zaporizhzhia, with the support of the Zaporizhzhia Rotary Club Zaporizhzhia Hortitsa. I became the first president of this organization, and in 2021, my team and I implemented over 20 charitable projects, including environmental initiatives, as well as projects supporting animal shelters and orphanages. However, I was particularly passionate about international projects. In the summer of 2021, I was elected chairman of the International Committee for Rotaract District Ukraine. In this role, I oversaw and assisted with international projects for all Rotaract clubs in Ukraine. I actively fostered cooperation between Ukrainian and Turkish Rotaract and Rotary Club. Following the full-scale invasion of Ukraine by the Russian Federation in 2022, my responsibilities as chairman of the International Committee increased significantly. I focused on various areas, including coordination of humanitarian aid from Polish, German, Dutch, and other Rotaract and Rotary clubs, as well as a project assisting Ukrainian refugees resettling in Germany, Austria, and Belgium. I helped these refugees find housing through Rotarians in Europe and assisting them with the document translation and registrations. In spring 2022, I also moved to Germany, settling in Bergheim near Köln with a family of Rotarians from the Rotary Club Ryan Erft. I had meetings with the representatives of German and Dutch Rotary clubs to raise funds for humanitarian aid in the Zaporizhia region. Through fundraising events that I organized, I have successfully raised over 30,000 euros for humanitarian needs in the Zaporizhia region. I collaborated remotely with my Rotary Club Zaporizhia Hortitsa and the members of my Rotaract Club Zaporizhia, coordinating efforts to raise funds for charitable projects in our city. In April 2022, I co-founded and became the deputy head of the pro-Ukrainian public organization in Germany, which was called Front of the People's Diplomacy Ukraine. We organized large-scale rallies, concerts, and charity events in Düsseldorf, Essen, Bochum, and Cologne. Unfortunately, this organization has disbanded, though some members are now part of a German pro-Ukrainian organization in Köln, Blau-Gelbes Kreuz. In total, I have organized over 30 diverse events, including cultural educational events about Ukraine and Germany, rallies in support of Ukraine, charity concerts, and demonstrations. In September 2022, I began studying at the University of Bonn in the History and Philosophy program. I studied at the university under the Erasmus program for 1 academic year and also worked in a restaurant in Köln. I continued my collaboration with the Zaporizhia Rotary Club remotely during this time. In the summer and fall of 2023, thanks to Zaporizhia National University, I had the opportunity to intern at Durham University in the United Kingdom. During this internship, we participated in and were speakers at a series of workshops focused on the history and foreign policy of Ukraine. After the internship, my supervisor, Olga Mykolaievna Makluk, and I wrote an article for a scientific journal discussing the historical narratives of Ukraine. In 2024, I returned from Germany to Ukraine and implemented several large-scale initiatives. Notably, I negotiated with the Bergheim City Hall to secure the transfer of 4 ambulances to hospitals in Zaporizhia. We successfully delivered those ambulances to the Zaporizhia Military Hospital, Zaporizhia City Hospital number 6, and 2 community hospitals in Zaporizhia district, Pavlivska and Komishevaiska communities, which are frequently under fire. In addition to these efforts, I organized smaller events, such as a charity auction to raise funds to purchase specific equipment for Ukrainian fighters in the Zaporizhia region. We also collected humanitarian aid for the soldiers. I was involved in the initiatives of weaving camouflage nets and creating trench candles. Currently, I am an English and German language teacher. In the summer of 2024, I founded my own School of International Communication where students can learn English, German, and Spanish. Our focus goes beyond teaching foreign languages. We emphasize the basics of international communication and the cultural practices of the countries whose language we teach. We also cover business and professional communication skills in English, German, and Spanish. To enhance the learning experience, we use modern technology and effective language learning methods, particularly communicative approach, to create interactive and engaging lessons. This helps students use the language in their everyday lives and communicate fluently and effectively. We organize speaking clubs and webinars of various topics, including CV writing, job interviews, and business negotiations. I would be happy to show you some examples of lessons from my school. As you can see, there are German lessons and English and Spanish as well. Of course, about some important events in Europe and in the United States teaching the basics of European politics, such as the structure of the European Union, and of course about the traditions in the United Kingdom and in the United States. So thank you very much for listening to a significant part of my biography. And now, as a Ukrainian political scientist and public activist, I would also like to draw your attention to the recent transformations in Ukrainian public life that have emerged during the nearly 3 years of full-scale invasion. Since our project touches upon the topic of peace, I will briefly summarize the key insights regarding how perceptions of Ukrainians about restoring peace in Ukraine have changed. So it is noted that during the first year of the full-scale invasion, following the successful counteroffensive operations by the armed forces of Ukraine in regions such as Kyiv, Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, and Kherson, as a considerable portion of Ukrainian population believed that the Ukrainian military had sufficient resources and capabilities to defeat Russia and reclaim the territories occupied by Russia, including those since 2014. High-ranking Ukrainian officials and media figures also spread this narrative. Most Ukrainian people thought that Ukraine's victory would involve a military defeat of Russia and the liberation of its territory either completely or by February 24, 2022. And this would lead to the restoration of peace in Ukraine. However, Ukrainian counteroffensive operation in the summer of 2023 resulted in only minor local successes for Ukraine, leading to headlines like Ukrainian counteroffensive went wrong in both Ukrainian and international media. By early 2024, it led to a gradual realization within Ukrainian society that the war would likely continue for a longer period than initially hoped. Gradually, discussions emerged regarding the feasibility of fully reclaiming all territories of Ukraine occupied since 2014, and whether the sacrifices and losses incurred thus far were truly worth the complete restoration of Ukraine's territorial integrity. The year 2024 marked a new stage in the collective understanding of what it means to restore peace in Ukraine. Significant losses in terms of human casualties, along with internal social and economic challenges and foreign policy issues, sparked debates about the possibility of ending this war through negotiations with Russia. Currently, Ukrainian society exhibits two contrasting perspectives on what restoring peace means for Ukraine and the methods required to achieve it. As we can see, one viewpoint asserts that peace can be achieved through a victory of Ukraine, defined as inflicting a military defeat on Russia, restoring territorial integrity along the 1991 borders, securing reparations from Russia for losses incurred, and holding Russian President Vladimir Putin accountable for his actions. Proponents of this view argue that Ukraine must increase mobilization efforts, continue fighting without making agreements with Russia, and seek weapons and support from Europe and the United States, including the use of long-range weapons to strike deep into Russian territory. The opposite viewpoint suggests that peace can be attained by ending the acute phase of armed conflict between Russia and Ukraine, potentially following a model similar to the Korean scenario. So they suggest that negotiations and reaching a peace treaty with Russia are a significant part of restoring peace in Ukraine. And supporters of this perspective advocate for an immediate ceasefire, opposing the forced mobilization in Ukraine, and counting on mediation by European and American diplomats in the negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. So that was it from my side today. Thank you very much for taking your time and giving your attention to me. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Yaroslava, for sharing your personal story with us, for giving all these valuable and crucial insights into sensitive topics that you highlighted. So please stay with us to take part in the discussion panel. And also we have the second speaker, who is Olha Boyko, and she will tell about her crisis migration experience. So, Olha, you are welcome to speak.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Just a second, I'll open my presentation. Okay, I can do that. Just I need to maintain everything. Just a moment. Okay, I hope everything will work properly. Okay, my name is Olga Boyko. I'm PhD candidate and lecturer, Faculty of History and International Relation of Zaporizhia National University. And my topic today is crisis migration, Orikhiv, London, and Zaporizhia. Actually, I'd like to tell you the story of my life and share these emotional moments of my life and a story that unfolded there between the cities like Orikhiv, London, Zaporizhia. And these cities became for me not just their cities on the map. It's true milestones of my life journey, and each of them got the significant impact on my soul. And first of all, I'd like to start with my hometown. About my hometown, it's the town Orikhiv. The town where I was born and spent most of my life. I grew up here and dreamed and also loved, but Orikhiv, it's a small town, 60 kilometers from Zaporizhia. And it was founded at the beginning of 19th century, and it's one of the first in the region town that receive the status of the city. The town of Orikhiv in the Zaporizhia region has been on the line since the beginning of the full-scale invasion of the Russian Federation into Ukraine. And Orikhiv now it's maybe 10 minutes by car from the position that occupied. It's maybe 10, 15 kilometers, and my hometown is shelled almost constantly. As you can see on this map, this is the like fresh map of the our war, that territory is temporarily occupied in the red color. And also got the distance from Zaporizhia to hometown, so it's really close to the war action. And the story of my hometown is really interesting because the German Mennonites, they played a significant role in the development of the city of Orikhiv in the late 19th century and early 20th. The Jansen family was the most respected and famous in Orikhiv. Johann Jansen built the first steam mill at the end of 70th of the 19th century, and later opened the School of Mennonite Children and hospital. Efforts were also made the instant electric lights and telephone lines in the street of the town. And also, you can see the house of German Mennonite Jansen family, of course, before the 24th of February 2022. And since that time, the house of Mayor Johann Jansen has remained in the city, and which now the house of Orikhiv Town Council. At the beginning of the war, the city council workers organized the center to help victims, provided humanitarian aid and water, and charged the phones of civilian. However, in the March 29, 2022, Russian troops shelled the town, and damaged the historical monument. And on the slide, you can see how it looks like now, unfortunately. The consequence of enemy shelling can be seen immediately after entering the town. The ruined homes of local people, civilian infrastructure can be seen everywhere you look, and there is no single house without damage. There is, as you can see, yes, it's actually my school where I studied. But yeah, and before the war, our school got the GIZ fund funding, and we rebuilt the gym for the children, but unfortunately now it looks like this. And in the recent months, shelling has been particularly severe. In some place, almost entire street has been destroyed, and the longest shelling lasted continuously for more than 12 hours. That case, the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, mentioned my hometown, Orikhiv, in his speech, and promised that the occupiers would receive the answer for their crimes here. And actually, on these photos, it's the gates of lots of the people in my hometown, and they look like they have turned into thieves. In the photo, also you can see the majestic wheat storage of the wheat. Also, before the war, it was one of the largest center in the community, which now is the symbol of the soul of every resident in my hometown. It's like deep holes in it after the shelling. Actually, my personal story is the same. I'm the most literally displaced person. My parents stayed in the Orikhiv for a long time. My husband and I came to them every week. We sometimes we live for some time in Zaporizhia. It was like for some days in a week, and we also tried to helped our parents in Orikhiv and brought food because if there was a shortage in the shop. My mother always asked for a candy because she was very nervous. It was like the habit, bad habit. But when the city began to be bombshell with a guided aerial bombs, I took them out of the town, and that was really right decision, because now you can see on the photo what happened with my country yard, and actually it was maybe some days after leaving the house. And my mother, grandmother, and brother, and I also. We did not give up and hope and repaired the roof, windows, doors on our own. So we try to maintain everything in our house as we can. And my mother and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, they are still in Orikhiv. Their house is still okay, but they risk their lives and they stay there for this long period. They don't want to move, and also they feed animals on the street, because there are lots of animals, cat, dogs. They were left for their host, so they take care about them. And actually, my life took the significant turn when I was forced to leave my native Orikhiv, and the war completed many of us to seek the refugee. For me, that refugee was London. I arrived alone with the hope to find a place like the peaceful place but the sense of harmony and comfortable environment where everyone could find their place. London was the city when I first felt that peace after living in my hometown in Zaporizhia. And it was the city when I first feel the peace and its aesthetic. This sense of harmony was evident in the smallest detail, in the smiles of the people in support of my host who opened their home to me, and the symbols that remind me of the homeland. My new family also assisted me with finding the job and socializing. Actually, I feel like a full-fledged member of their family and participated in all family events. And to this day, I try to keep our warm and friendly relation with the British family, and I always try to return to them on the summer holidays. And actually, when I came back to this small town near the London, I've got the awkward feeling because I feel like I've come back home, and this feeling was just before the war when I come back to my hometown Orikhiv, and it's like it was feeling like there is peace, stability. So it's really strange because actually, yes, it's a different country and not my hometown at all. In the summer of 2022, I volunteered as an assistant teacher in Lamberhus St. Mary Primary School. I worked with Ukrainian children who had also immigrated to the United Kingdom from Kyiv, Mariupol, Kharkiv. It was really crisis places, and still they are. And I understood them and helped them to adapt to the new school and new country with the new rules. And it was difficult to me sometimes to listen their casual, like in the casual way. They told me stories about the horrors of the war, and they also tell me about the deaths of their family members sometimes, and also they told me about the fathers who remained in Ukraine, and they are in the military service. So together with them, I relive those events, emphasize, of course, with them, and I try to talk with him about the future in Ukraine without war. And in that school, we've got like a small group of young Ukrainians. It was like Ukrainian island. And after classes, we read Ukrainian fairy tales, watched Ukrainian cartoons, and played a folk game. Also, I've held like a quiz about Ukraine for year 3 and year 4. So children were interested about their new classmates and where they were from. So, and at the same time, the English people, they were really interested in inquired about Ukrainian tradition, about Ukrainian history, and they always were ready to help and solve the humanitarian problems that sometimes we've got. And often I saw and when I saw the Ukrainian flag, or for example, when I wore the embroidered blouse or dress, I thought about my homeland, and this strengthened my belief that we can create the peace even in the most difficult circumstances. And every day I follow the news about my hometown. They were getting worse and worse. And also I read about Zaporizhia, where my family, and I called them and worrying from afar, and it was the feeling that like I live in my smartphone and I always check the news, or when I read the bad news, for example, about missile attack or air bomb attack, I always called my parents, my husband, future husband, and I was really nervous about them, and yeah, it was really hard period of my life. If actually I lived in a peace, but it was really hard. However, despite the peaceful life in the suburbs of London, the comfort and the support I receive, I could not stay there. The decision to return to Zaporizhia was difficult. But this at the same time it was only right one for me. After all, my family, my husband, and my heart remain there, and my husband is defending the civilian population and of Zaporizhia, and he's always on duty, and he understand his work, and he's always ready to help the population in Zaporizhia, and building the relationship at the distance, it's a great and difficult challenge for all young couples overcome. And while abroad, I constantly worried about him and wondering if he is wearing a bulletproof vest, or if he is able to recover after the night shift at the attack site in Zaporizhia. Also, my grandmother and mother and brother, they needed some financial help and support to adapt to a new place and living abroad. And actually, I couldn't help them if I live abroad. So due to severe stress also from the war, my grandmother cancer returned. So my family is my responsibility, and I understood that I couldn't leave the people who I love. So returning to Zaporizhia really became another challenge. And I realized that peace is not only what our surrounds give us, but also what we create ourselves. Even in our native city of Zaporizhia, which is going through the difficult times, I felt that my choice to be with my family is a part of the struggle of harmony and for the peace in the world. It was the spirit of victory and the experience I gained in the UK that helped me to help me not to give up and start working as an English teacher at the Parisian National University and the Parisian Gymnasium, and resume to my research work. Actually, on this slide, you can see the Parisian Gymnasium that work. It's like in the shelter. They work like in the basement. As you can see, the condition where the children study, they are okay. We've got nice warm place, but actually there aren't any windows, and it's like the basement actually, but children are in a safe place. And actually, I've always been optimistic person, and I always try to be optimist, and I try to live the full life and not postpone all my dreams and plans, because tomorrow may simply not come. And war has forced million people to leave their homes, and I am one of them. And my story is the story of million Ukrainians who are seeking safety and peace. But my home just not just a building, it's the sense of belonging, and it's the people who surround me. And despite being far from home, I always felt the connection to my land, to my people, and it was this feeling that brought me back. Despite all the difficulties, I always felt support of my family, my parents, my husband, and it is the family that gives us the strength to move forward, even when everything around us to be scrambling. I returned to Ukraine because I understand that true happiness is being where you loved and awaited. And that's like a conclusion of my story, that by choosing to live in my motherland and stay true to myself, I have been building a foundation for my true peace. Thank you for attention. I'm ready for your question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Olga, for delivering your speech and all the sensitive personal moments that you shared with us. So now we have time for questions, and the panel is going to be open in a couple of minutes. By the way, all this time we were comfortably hidden behind the scenes, and your audience was quite large, just to let you know. That was made intentionally in case you have some stage fright. Yeah. So, okay, I'll take my privilege to ask my question first, and my question goes to Yaroslava. So, Yaroslava, can you tell me, please, which challenges did you face while balancing your own academic activities at university, volunteering, and all the things that you did simultaneously as a multitasker while being taught? How is it really possible to do all these things at the same time?
Oh, thank you, Sergej, for this interesting question. Actually, it's hard to answer because I don't know. I'm a curious person. I'm interested in many aspects of this life. I'm interested in politics. I'm interested in social life, and philosophy, and history. And I was just trying to catch up everything that was possible to catch. I just did what I liked. I just did what I felt that I had to do. And that always gave me motivation to move forward, to start something new. Probably that would be my answer.
Yeah, thank you. Your success story is really great. Well, and now our keynote speakers can do both languages, so it means that you can ask questions both in English and Ukrainian, and it depends on the language you would like to receive the answer. So we have a second question. Camila, you're welcome.
Yeah, from here or I go back? No, I can go to the one. Makes it better if I go to the.
It's better to do this.
Thank you so much, both of you. I really enjoy your narrations and experience of life. I have two questions, one for each one. One for Olga. Do you say that do you have a peaceful life in London, but at the end of the day you cannot feel like complete, so to say? Maybe you can describe more your experience that. How do you feel in this peaceful but not peaceful at the same time feelings? And yes, just to deep into this experience. And for Yaroslava, I will like to ask about this 2 point of view about peace and how much is the weight of each position nowadays in Ukraine. If you have some figures, numbers, if not, it is okay, but just to ask. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'd like to start. Actually, it's interesting question because it was lots of different feeling inside of me, and it was I don't know how to explain at all. Actually, it was really peaceful in the case that I didn't hear the alarm. I didn't hear some bomb sounds, but actually, as I said, I lived in my smartphone. I lived in the news, so I always checked all the news in Ukraine, in my hometown, and as I showed in my presentation. Just a sec. I'll show you. We've got this like Telegram group where we can follow the news. And as you can see, this is the screenshot from this group where I always check the news, and you can see that I wrote down the Orikhiv, name of my hometown, and you can see it 531 messages. So I always try to follow the follow the situation, and actually. For example, my host, they are so nice people, and they tried to always understand me, but we don't live like in trauma. They try to show me Great Britain. We always visited different places in the Great Britain, like their castles and everything. But when I traveled before, when I had traveled before the war, I actually had got the feeling of the happiness when I'd seen, for example, I don't know, new places like, I don't know, Big Ben, for example. It had been the great feeling inside of me. But actually, when I visited all these places or in different country, I didn't feel anything inside of me. It like I always like traveling. It's like my hobby. My colleagues know about it, but actually I like you just the point. Yes, I visited down, but I didn't feel anything inside of me, and it's great. It's great problem, as I understand, because I don't feel anything good inside of me. But I try I try to follow all the news and try to help my family. And my just a simple day in the Great Britain, I just tried to do different things to just interact myself from the smartphone. I try to cook. My host, they are really happy when I cook something Ukrainian dish, and they're like, "Oh, we are eating borscht, for example, or vareniki." They are so happy. But it was like my therapy from this stress. So I try to cook something, try to interact. They gave me the dog for a walk, so it's also I've never got the dog and never walked with dog, but they gave me this responsibility. So I just like, oh my God, and I took care about him. So they tried to interact me, and they tried to show me everything great in this world, but I can't do this on the full scene, because it was really hard when you got relatives in another country where is the war. So yes, that's my answer. Everything was good, but with a lot of buts. Yaroslava, it's your turn to answer the question.
Very much. I'll take my floor to answer. Yeah, as you've seen in my narration, in my presentation, I included two polar point of views that currently exist within Ukrainian society. And talking about figures, numbers, talking about the percentage of population that support the first point of view or the second point of view. Well, currently some social surveys indeed take place in Ukraine. Yeah, there are large social surveys conducted by Razumkov Analytical Center. However, during my preparation of this presentation, I was hesitating. I was wondering whether I should have actually included these figures and numbers, since we understand that during the war period, during these hostilities are still going on, whether it's actually possible to trust the numbers that we can see in the social surveys, whether those numbers are actually reliable, whether they are actually relevant and objective, whether they can not touch upon some personal and subjective beliefs. And that's why I just decided not to include them. I would say, according to my own observations, according to my own experience, it might be around 50-50, somewhere around it.
Yeah, thank you. And any additional questions from the audience, perhaps in Ukrainian, have large amount of detailed information. So in case you would like to address our speakers, you have to come here to this place because we have an integrated microphone and they would hear nothing if you stay at your place. Okay, can you come here? Come on, don't be afraid. You're welcome.
Hi. I forgot all my English words before I came here. So my name is Alice, and I respect you, and I think that you're really brave. And I have only one question. Everybody of us, just every person in this room has their own Schicksal. Please help. Destiny? Oh, I don't know. Okay. Has their own destiny. And блін, мене знімають. Я не можу. Коротше, сорі. Коротше, я просто хотіла сказати, що в кожній людині є...
Розмовляйте українською, все добре. Ми раді чути українську мову в Німеччині.
Я просто хотіла сказати, що в кожної людини є свої найкращі дні і є свої найгірші дні. І я хотіла спитати, як саме ви проводили свої найгірші дні, що давало вам надію в ті часи, коли ви не знали, як рухатися далі, тому що інша країна, інша культура, і все, що ви залишили в Україні, скажімо так, воно залишилось там. І коли ви в іншій країні, ви не бачите, просто не розумієте, як рухатися далі, тому що всі цілі залишились там, і все таке незрозуміле і незвичне. Ось. Я можу продублювати німецькою.
Okay.
Alisa, Alice.
Alice asked about some techniques of live day experience. How did our speakers try to overcome the hardships, how they felt during their happy days, and what did they actually do to overcome the hardships of bad days? Yeah.
Ungefähr so, danke.
So, who's going to deliver the answer first?
Actually, my answer will be short, but in what language I should answer, Stanislav Sergeyevich?
It's
Ukrainian,
up to you
English.
to decide.
А ви нічого не чуємо.
Well, you're asked to do it in English.
I've asked to answer in English, yeah?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, okay. As I said, I just tried to tried to do some usual routine of my life. Yeah, all my thoughts were about Ukraine, but about my family. But I tried to distract and tried to do something that I usually do. And as I said, it was cooking, it was cleaning, walking with the dog. And also my hosts, they are so, they so help me to lift these moments in my life, these worst days, as you said. But they usually they help me in every time. So they are like my support still in Ukraine. When I live in Ukraine, in Great Britain, everywhere, they still help me. So yes, it was like talks or some actions, or they just try to help me every time and support me. Yeah, and understand, of course, as they can.
Thank you. Thank you for delivering it in English. That was the request. And Yaroslava, your turn to give the answer.
Yeah, I will also deliver my answer in English language. So, talking about what always helps me to overcome any challenges and difficulties, that would probably be my purpose, my priorities. So, for example, when I have a purpose in my life and there is a goal that I want to achieve, there is nothing that can stop me. And my rule number one is just to do what I like and what I believe in, what I believe is right to do. And then I just don't pay attention to, like smaller challenges. They seem to be nothing in comparison to my major goal.
So perhaps you can give some tips or recommendations how to deal with these challenges here. Or like you can actually do lecturing on that topic afterwards. Okay. Any other questions?
I've got a question.
Okay, so you may start.
But I have to come there.
Yeah, you have to come here, definitely.
So first of all, hi to both of you. I mean, what I've heard was really interesting and inspiring. My name is Faisal. I'm coming from Afghanistan. It was like I can relate my stories to you both as well. I was very fortunate enough to be here today. It was like not planned that for me to be here. My friend told me that there's like something going on today, a program, something like that. So I mean, there was two different feelings that I got while hearing that presentation from both of you. One side, I was pretty happy for what you guys achieved in that short amount of time. And the other side of me was a feeling of unwellness and feeling of absolute unfortunate for the stuff that happened to you both or the country. And we all come to the same concept that war is not the solution. I mean, we always have to look for something, I mean, bigger and better than war. I mean, guns wouldn't be a solution. So I'm telling that because Afghanistan is the same situation and as Ukraine as well. I mean, there were constant war and stuff. So to coming to the question, for everything you said, for what happened in the past, what are your both plans for the future? I'm absolutely sure that you both have a delight future, but what are the specific plans that you both have for the future?
I think I could answer these questions first. First of all, thank you very much for your inspiring and supportive words. You're giving really very valuable insights from your own life. And indeed, I agree with all of your points that you make about the peace, about how these conflicts should be handled. And talking about my perception of the future, about my future plans, As I said, everyone has to pursue his own path. Everyone has to pursue his own goals that he makes. For example, talking about me, I have always dreamt of a career in science and education. Nowadays, I'm a teacher of foreign languages, and I would like to pursue my career in teaching political science and foreign languages, teaching the basics of international communication. Of course, I hope that one day I will have a chance to come back to my country and, fulfill all of my dreams and ambitions in my country. So, Olga, the floor is
Thumbs
yours
up to you. You're gonna
Okay.
do it.
for you too.
Actually, yeah, they are a bit the same as Yaroslava. I don't know how it came. Yeah, she understands me at all. Yeah, actually, I tried to live in Ukraine at my plans. Try to live in Ukraine in Zaporizhia as long as I can, of course. Also, I like to work, so I work all the time, and it's like my antidepressant after all crisis moments. So actually, I'd like to work where I'm working now, so in Zaporizhia National University and at school, because I understand that the children and students, they're young generation, and I can help them to study English, and also I can help them to open this wild world at all. Yes, so I'd like to work, and also don't forget about my family. Don't forget about my parents and my husband, because when you work 24 hours, you sometimes forget about this. Actually, yes. So yes, I'd like to work and this with the children and students, have the career and in the scientific field, and also build the family.
Yeah. Impressive.
And also survive
As you
after
said,
everything. Survive.
as you said, family is something that can't be forgotten. I mean, in my case, they're in Afghanistan and they're rooting for me each day. And I'm sure that I will make them the same proud, the same as you both did to your parents. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'm wishing all the best for you both. Keep going on, keep rooting, and I'm proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're also very proud of you, and we wish you the best success.
Thank you for so inspiring questions and also wishing success to our speakers. Okay, so new questions. You're highly welcome.
Hello. I want to ask a question, not only for you both, also for another participant of these events. Which things help you do something hold event to support Ukraine? Which things help you stay motivated? Yeah.
Yeah, I could answer these questions first if Olga doesn't mind. Well, talking about all of my volunteering activities and public activism, which always kept me going and kept me motivated, was love to my country, love to my city, love to my family. I've always admired my country, and as you could see, I've started my intercultural public activism long before the outbreak of the war. It's just because I truly loved my country. I wanted to represent it in international arena. I wanted people to know about it. I couldn't keep silent about our internal problems. And when the war began, almost immediately, I also started my volunteering activities, my public activism activities such as rallies, fundraising events in Germany. I was just driven by my desire to help people, particularly in my city, in Zaporizhia, and of course to people in my country.
Yeah. I mean that each of us is small, but together we can achieve big changes.
Actually, my family helped me to keep my motivation. Actually, they helped me in every of my beginnings. So yes, it's my mom and my husband. They always support me. So, and after the bad days or some bad moment in our life, I understand that I've got my family. I've got husband near me, so everything is okay. Actually, on this level, everything is okay. My peace, my home, that's all. So, staying in Ukraine helped me to move forward because I feel this braveness, I feel this freedom to and desire to be independent country. So yes, that's helped me.
Thank you.
Thank you. So please, you can also participate, but remember about the precondition of coming here in order to be near the microphone. And
There are lots of challenge, Stanislav Sergeyevich, to ask the question. Challenges are everywhere.
it makes the lesser, yeah. Okay. Oh, we have one more. Can you come here, please?
Всім привіт!
Можете задавати українською мовою.
Я буду розмовляти українською, бо
Так.
я дуже переживаю. Я таке дуже
Да.
ненавиджу, коли на мене дивиться, але я виступаю. Я просто хочу сказати дякую вам, що ви зробили цю презентацію. Це було дуже цікаво. Хоча я не розумію англійську, але це було дуже цікаво. Просто дякую всім.
Okay, thank you. So that was not a question, that was a comment. Це був коментар, а не запитання. Так. Дякую за ваш коментар. Дякую. So, great thanks to our keynote speakers for delivering their speeches and presentations that were very much inspiring and motivating for the whole audience, because our whole audience comprises lots of people from different countries who are also forced migrants, and they are facing common challenges, common problems, and they are driven by your willingness to overcome all the hardships that you came across. At the same time, I would like to give special thanks for sharing your expert view on the ongoing conflict, and it's very inspiring that both of you have constructive thinking and common intellectual roots, which is very, very important and crucial for your university professors. Thank you for being with us. Enjoy your time and see you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Thank you. So, dear participants, in case you have some comments, you're welcome to speak. Yeah.
I have a new idea, so we can describe and